Welcome back, everyone, to our EA Sports simulated games. Dave Gosher along with Shane Knighty. Great to have you with us. Shane, the Golden Knights came up with a big win over the Nashville Predators in 6 games in round 1. The computer's still taking its time to see who they're going to take on in round number 2. So what a better way to stay sharp than taking on a team of all-time greats.
Oh, Hall of Fame team when you look at right up front, the top line, Joe Sakic, Wayne Gretzky, and Gordie Howe. Many others, Yager, Brad Hall, goes on and on. The back end has a bunch of guys, Coffey, Bork, Pronger, Lindstrom, Larry Robinson, and in net Patrick Waugh. So for the Golden Knights, no better way to test themselves and be ready for round 2 than taking on this team.
Well, a real treat for the fans at T-Mobile Arena tonight. The Golden Knights taking on a team made up of the stars of stars as we head to the Fortress. What a night at T-Mobile Arena. The all-time all-stars, a team made up of the legends of the game. And they'll take on the Golden Knights. Marc-Andre Fleury at some point could be playing for the team at the other end of the ice. Coming into tonight, 5th all-time in NHL history in wins. That man, Patrick Waugh, number 2 all-time, only behind Martin Brodeur. Each of these men, 3-time Stanley Cup winners. What an opening line for the all-time All-Stars. Wayne Gretzky, Joe Sakic, and Gordie Howe, a combined 6,348 points in their NHL careers. We're underway at T-Mobile, and Wayne Gretzky in deep. In this game tonight, 10 of the top 20 all-time scorers in NHL history on the team for the all-time All-Stars. Marc-Andre Fleury with a save on Gordie Howe, as he throws out the glove to take care of it.
Oh, look at Wayne Gretzky. Gordie Howe was his idol growing up. Now those two playing on a line together.
Wayne Gretzky at 2,857 points. By far number 1 all-time. It'll be interesting to see Gretzky at 894 goals. Number 1 of the all-time list. He's 188 ahead of Alex Ovechkin. Be curious to see whether Ovechkin's able to reach Gretzky's all-time mark in the years to come. The all-time All-Stars on the move, and now a turnover to William Karlsson, and he'll break towards the net. A wrist shot, and Patrick Waugh able to make the save.
Oh, great chance for Karlsson off a turnover as the Golden Knights have a good opportunity to open the scoring, and Patrick Waugh with a big save.
Well, Patrick Waugh with Stanley Cups on his resume with the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, I misspoke. He won 4 cups, 86 and 93 in Montreal, 96 in Colorado, 01 with the Avalanche as well. The time of his retirement, he was number 1 all-time in wins until Marty Brodeur went by him. There's Alec Martinez, and the Golden Knights will reload. For some odd reason, no Bobby Orr on this roster for the all-time greats tonight in an egregious error. As
shocking.
Patrick Waugh takes care of this chance.
It is shocking.
Who's in charge of this? This is egregious.
He should have been the first defenseman picked.
No question about it. No offense to anyone else on the roster, a group of Lidstrom, McGinnis, Bork, Coffey, Robinson, and Pronger, but there'll be a letter written shortly after the game tonight. Now here's John Merrill. He'll feed it off towards Alex Tuch. His shot is blocked. And the all-time All-Stars on the move. Wrist shot towards the net. Off the mark from Paul Coffey. Alex Tuch back the other way. Now Nick Holden, his shot blocked. And the all-time Stars will start it back the other way. Shot on, save, rebound, score! Brett Hull on the rebound chance, fired it in on the doorstep. Set up by Yzerman and Forsberg.
Oh, great rush up the ice by the All-Stars. It's just a shot from the high slot, and Brad Hull in perfect position to grab the rebound on his backhand. He puts it past Fleury, and the All-Stars grab the 1-0 lead. But a nice rush up the ice, quick shot, and no chance for Fleury off that rebound that goes right to the stick of Hull.
Brett Hall, no stranger to lighting the lamp, 741 career goals. Fourth on the all-time list. Of course, none bigger than his cup winner in overtime for the Dallas Stars in 1999.
Buffalo
So
Sabres fans don't like that goal. Still complaining.
Toe in the crease situation. Would have been hard to overturn that. Everyone on the ice, cup presented. Oh, by the way, come back out. We have to continue to play. Long drive on from the point from Al MacInnis. Turned away by Marc-Andre Fleury. Al MacInnis and Brett Hall still very involved in the St. Louis Blues organization, of course, coming off their Stanley Cup in 2019.
So look at Guy Lafleur with no helmet. That rule grandfathered in for a few of these players.
And they managed to grandfather in the great Jean Beliveau. What a fourth line this is. Messier, Lafleur, and Beliveau. Jean Beliveau, of course, the 10-time Stanley Cup winner during his 18 years as a member of the Montreal Canadiens. And Guy Lafleur, he was the original Flower. Those great Canadiens teams score! Tomasz Nosek from out high. On a loose puck, snaps it by Waugh, and we're tied.
Oh, good work by Nosek in the offensive end as he just grabs that puck, wins a one-on-one battle, walks to the top of the circles, and a quick shot beats Patrick Waugh as Nosek able to fend off Messier to get that shot away through a bunch of traffic in front, right to the top corner, and this game's tied.
Well, Tomasz Nosek upstairs on Patrick Waugh. And the Golden Knights able to break through against that line of Marc Messier, Jean Beliveau, and Guy Lafleur. So 1-1 here at the Fortress. And Guy Lafleur on the forecheck. One of the great goal scorers in the history of the game. Certainly during his heyday with those great Canadiens teams of the 70s. Of course, running off 4 straight Stanley Cups from 1976 through 79. As Patrick Waugh was able to take care of that shot, and a faceoff coming in the All-Stars end. Carlson will take the faceoff against Gretzky. Yeah, you made the point, Shane, when Wayne Gretzky grew up idolizing Gordie Howe. When Gordie Howe retired, he owned all the records. 1,850 career points. Of course, eventually Gretzky broke all of those, and Jaromir Jagr and Marc Messier went by the great Gordie Howe, is still number 4 on the all-time list. Golden Knights will push their way to center in a 1-1 game. Riley Smith playing it back out high. It's broken up. And back come the All-Stars and Mario Lemieux. His wrist shot blocked in front. Of course, Mario Lemieux going up is against Marc-Andre Fleury. 2 great Penguins. Mario, still the owner of the Penguins franchise. Fleury able to kick out that chance off the stick of Peter Forsberg. Paul Stastny the other way with a wrist shot, turned away by Patrick Waugh. Now another chance in tight. And Waugh holds tight as the Golden Knights were buzzing in front.
Well, some saves by Fleury at the one end before the chance on Waugh. And Fleury, a big left pad save.
Offensive zone draw for the VGK. And Waugh will freeze and hold on. We mentioned some of the greats in this game for the All-Stars, including Jaromir Jagr, still playing at 48 years old. Owns his junior team in Kladno in the Czech Republic. 24 years in the NHL. Played another 3 in the KHL. Seemingly going to play forever.
Well, he's got a few more years to catch Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe played long enough that he played with his sons, Mark and Marty.
Yeah. Gordie Howe, at age 52 in 1980, was playing in the NHL for the Hartford Whalers.
So it means you could still be playing, Dave. You're younger than him.
I'm thinking about a comeback. I'm not sure of a comeback from what. Gordie Howe was a drive on from out high, turned away by Marc-Andre Fleury off the bid from Steve Yzerman. Gordie Howe played one final shift in 1997 in his 6th decade as a player with the Detroit Vipers of the now defunct IHL. But as Shane mentioned, played with a couple of his boys in Hartford and the WHA and then the NHL. Time ticking away here in the first period. That's going to do it as we're locked up at 1 in the special matchup after 1 period.
Oh, Golden Knights able to tie it up. Big goal by Nosek after Brett Hull opened up the scoring.
So the teams trading goals in the opening period. What a lineup the Golden Knights are facing tonight. Some of the all-time greats in the history of the game. Tied up at 1 after 20 minutes. All right, 1 period in the book, Shane. Golden Knights and the all-time All-Stars tied up at 1 at T-Mobile.
Oh, no surprise to see Brett Hull scored. He did that his whole career. Nosek able to tie it up. The All-Stars had the advantage in shots in that first period. We'll see what the Golden Knights can do here in period number 2.
As we take you back out to T-Mobile Arena. Crowd of the Fortress. Great opportunity to see this matchup tonight between the Golden Knights and the all-time All-Stars. The VGK awaiting their opponent in the second round after dispatching of the Nashville Predators in round 1 in 6 games. And they're taking on a team tonight comprised of some of the greatest names in the history of the sport, including this line of Wayne Gretzky, Joe Sakic, and Gordie Howe. Gretzky number 1 all-time in scoring in league history, Howe at 4, and Sakic at number 9. Golden Knights to center ice. Riley Smith ridden out of the play along the wall by Nicholas Lidstrom. Great Detroit Red Wing. 3-time Cup winner. Shot here, score! Wayne Gretzky on his own rebound. Right in front. And the great one is giving the All-Stars the lead again.
Well, certainly not the guy you want to leave a rebound to as Gretzky, a little backhand. Fleury can't manage it as Gretzky grabs the rebound as he sneaks past Theodore. And Wayne Gretzky with the goal to give the All-Stars the 2-1 lead as he beats Fleury on the blocker's side.
Never had a chance to call any Wayne Gretzky's game, Shane, in real life. This is the next best thing.
I never had a chance to play against him. I missed him by 1 year.
Played against some of these guys, though, right?
Yep. There's a lot. Sakic, Forsberg,
Yep.
Lemieux, Yager.
Some pretty good names.
Messier.
Yeah. Here's Mark Stone into the offensive end. He'll play it back to the point. A long drive from Shea Theodore blocked. Of course, Paul Stastny up front for the Golden Knights. What a hockey lineage in his family. Of course, his dad, Peter, uncles Anton and Marion. Great players in the NHL. Mark Stone up ice. Now Max Pacioretty. He'll feed it back out high. Braden McNabb a long drive, and Patrick Waugh takes care of it. He'll hold it for the whistle.
Well, Patrick Waugh has the Montreal helmet on for this game.
You wondered if he would go with maybe the Montreal helmet and the Colorado pads, but he has not elected to do that. It's a big decision. He's gone with the Canadians get up. Here's Jaromir Jagr. His wrist shot gloved by Fleury. And he'll hold for the whistle.
Well, easy save for Fleury is. So look at Yager. Dave mentioned still playing the game over in the Czech Republic.
You think of some of the great Penguins over the years, a lot of them involved in this game tonight. Mario Lemieux, Jaromir Jagr, Marc-Andre Fleury. Of course, not even to mention Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, still very active in their NHL careers.
Paul Coffey also, former
Yes.
Penguin.
Yeah, Paul Coffey with 3 cups as a member of the Oilers and another one with the Pittsburgh Penguins in the early 90s. Puck loose along the wall. Played back out top. Wrist shot on and a save made by Fleury. He'll hold it. Oh, Larry Robinson without the bucket on. Set that up from the wing. Brett Hull with a chance.
Well, Brett Hull had the opening goal for the All-Stars off the rebound, and Fleury able to hang on to that and not allow the chance in front.
What a career Larry Robinson had for himself. Those great Canadiens teams of the 70s and into the 80s. One of the linchpins of that blue line. Not a bad setup when you could have Larry Robinson, Serge Savard, or Guy Lapointe back there most of the night for you as Patrick Waugh holds on to it.
All great teams for the Montreal Canadiens, their history of all those cups. And mentioned John Beliveau leading the way.
Of course, those teams in the 70s, it was Ken Dryden that was the man in net. And Dryden won 6 cups in 9 years and called it a career. Beliveau throws it in deep. 2-1 lead for the all-time All-Stars. Wayne Gretzky, the go-ahead goal in the second. Ryan Reeves cutting outside in, trying to beat Al McInnes. Swings it out in front, got tapped away towards the blue line. Shea Theodore keeps it in. Now Reeves out high with a wrist shot. That's deflected wide of the net. Guy Lafleur on the ice for the All-Stars. You think of all the great players that have gone through the Montreal Canadiens franchise over the years. Guy Lafleur still #1 in goals on their all-time list.
He scored some big ones, even against the Bruins, Dave.
Yep, thank you very much, Shane. There is Lafleur and Beliveau in front. And Fleury able to take care of Jean Beliveau, point blank.
Figured you know which goal I was talking about.
I do. Too many men on the ice. Unfortunate, 1979.
Don Cherry, the coach
Yep.
of the Bruins.
The late, great John D'Amico, the linesman that called it, tried not to. I think the Bruins had too many men for about 15 seconds. At an inopportune time with about 3 minutes left in Game 7. Jonathan Marchessault, his drive, and Patrick Waugh turns it away. Now Gordie Howe in deep. 25 years for Gordie Howe with the Detroit Red Wings. 6 years in the WHA. Another year in the NHL with the Hartford Whalers. And as we said, one more shift in 1997 with the Detroit Vipers. Golden Knights on the attack, and Paul Stastny out top. Puck loose on the wing, and the All-Stars will start it out. Into the offensive zone they come. A wrist shot, save made by Fleury. A couple of stops in tight. And Joe Sakic with the opportunity. Al Stastny in front. Bumped off the play by Robinson. Mario Lemieux back to get it. And the All-Stars into the offensive end. A wrist shot from Forsberg, turned away by Fleury. In the late stages of the second period, here's Stevenson, and he caught the iron. Good opportunity for Chandler Stevenson to tie the game.
The Golden Knights haven't had much going here in the second period, but the best chance off the stick of Stevenson.
Now Tuck a drive, and Waugh got a piece of that. The shot's lopsided in favor of the All-Stars. Jágr carrying it in. He'll throw it on goal. One final save along the top of the crease for Fleury. And that's it as the second period comes to a close.
Oh, Golden Knights, little press late in period number 2. Hopefully carry that momentum to the third as they find themselves down a goal.
Only one goal in the second. And it belonged to Wayne Gretzky. 894 years and his great 894 goals in his great career. Those years are gone, but the lead isn't for the All-Stars. Well, the all-time Stars, Shane, opened up a 2-1 lead on the Golden Knights after 2 periods. No surprise who put the All-Stars back on top.
Yeah, the great one gives them the lead here and a heavy advantage when you look at it in shots for the All-Stars. 25 shots through 2 periods of play. That said, the Golden Knights still have 20 minutes left to try and tie this or win it.
Yeah, they'll try to turn it around as we head back to the Fortress for period number 3. A 1-goal lead for the all-time All-Stars as we drop the puck on the third period. This Golden Knights club, little exhibition game against these all-time greats between playoff rounds 1 and 2. Riley Smith, little stutter step move, wrist shot. Patrick Waugh turns it away. And Gordie Howe will start it back. Into the offensive zone, wrist shot. Marc-Andre Fleury made that save, standing upright. He'll hold it for the whistle.
Oh, the Golden Knights trying to put more pucks on Patrick Waz. Only 12 shots through 2 periods, and Riley Smith with a good one to open up period number 3, a shot to the blocker's side.
Gretzky and Karlsson on this draw. William Karlsson, who grew up idolizing Peter Forsberg in his native Sweden, and a chance to play against his idol tonight.
Pretty good lining up against Gretzky on the faceoff circle, I'd imagine.
Marchessault. Al Smith with a wrist shot, blocked wide of the net. And the All-Stars on the move, and Teemu Selanne to Mario Lemieux. Tried to thread the needle back to Selanne. Back the other way, Marchessault lost it. McGinnis has it, and now Lemieux. Now Mario Lemieux, who finished number 8 all-time in scoring. 1,723 career points, and hard not to think about what his numbers would have looked like had he not lost time to, of course, battle with cancer. Also had back problems in his career. Stastny scores on the rebound. Paul Stastny on the follow-up chance. Off the mark, Stone bid. And the Golden Knights have tied it at 2.
Quick play up the ice as Pat's ready to Stone. He gets a great shot away. Big save by Waugh, but the rebound right to the stick of Paul Stastny. And the Golden Knights tie this game at 2 as Stastny just above the goal line. Tough angle, but able to put it to the back of the net for the Golden Knights.
So Paul Stastny tying it about 5.5 minutes into the third period. Now the goals so far tonight for the Golden Knights from No-Second Stastny, and for the All-Stars from Brett Hull and Wayne Gretzky. So 2-2 the score. Pacioretty trying to pull loose from Jágr. I mean, to mention some of the numbers that Lemieux put up. Incredible numbers despite dealing with injury and illness in his career. And you think of the numbers that Jaromir Jágr put up, what they would be. He's number 2 all time. But he also spent 3 years playing in the KHL.
Yeah. Oh, I remember playing against Lemieux was scary. Well, playing against both Lemieux and Jágr took it to another level, beyond scary, especially when they were on the power play.
So that must have been a lot of fun, trying
Not
to be
really
on the penalty kill against that. Here is Jágr. And now out high, Ray Bourque. Not a lot of players retire winning the Stanley Cup in their final game. Raymond Bourque was one of them. Colorado Avalanche in 2001. Of course, Mark Recchi comes to mind with the Bruins in 2011. A guy that I know well, also retired a Stanley Cup champion.
A little different scenario, but
yeah,
yes.
but still, you retired a Cup winner. A lot of people don't. Here's Lafleur with a wrist shot. It got blocked. Now Beliveau throws it on net. Fleury holds tight. Oh, the great Jean Beliveau with the chance.
Oh, great chance right off the goal line. And for Marc-Andre Fleury, looking up to a lot of the Montreal Canadiens growing up in the province of Quebec.
Jean Beliveau, one of the most revered and respected Canadians of all time. Wrist shot from Holden, turned away by Patrick Waugh. And the all-time Stars back the other way, and Mark Messier feeds it in the middle to Lafleur. Shaka blocked by John Merrill. Now back the other way. Comes Carrier. He'll throw it on net. Waugh takes care of it. Of course, there was that huge trade involving Patrick Waugh from the Montreal Canadiens to the Colorado Avalanche. That really helped put the Avs over the top, winning the Cup in 1996 and another one 5 years later.
A little different scenario back then. When Waugh asked for the trade, he skated over the bench and told the owner, that's it. No glass behind the benches back then.
I'm out of here. And a trade that if you turn back the calendar a year before, between those two franchises would have never happened, right? With Quebec Nordiques moved to Denver. It was their first season in the Mile High City. Hard to believe that the Canadians and the Nordiques would have ever made a trade of that magnitude.
Made it a little easier when they relocated to Colorado.
Mike Keane also part of that trade, going from the Canadians to the Avalanche. The Canadians captain. Canadians traded their captain and Patrick Waugh in the same deal to Colorado. Out high. Gordie Howe had it tipped off his stick with 4.5 to go in the third. Golden Knights and the all-time All-Stars locked up in a 2-2 tie. Here's Theodore with a wrist shot. Patrick Waugh got a piece of it. Theodore keeps it moving. Carlson out top. Now Nate Schmidt walks down the middle. His shot blocked in front. Puck loose behind the net, and Nicholas Lidstrom will pick it up. And we've got a penalty late in regulation. And it's going to be on Nick Lidstrom. He heads to the box.
Golden Knights have done a real good job pressing for that go-ahead goal, and pressured by Riley Smith forces the turnover, and Lindstrom ends up taking a penalty. He's not happy about it here late in the third.
What a chance for the Golden Knights. First power play of the game. And an opportunity for the VGK late in regulation. They'll start it up ice. Paul Stastny broken up at the line by Paul Coffey. And now Coffey feeding it. Centering pass to Lemieux, tipped away in front. Pretty nice look from Forsberg. Ray Bourque drops it off for Paul Coffey. At Bourque, number 11 all time in scoring in league history, and Coffey right behind him at number 13. And the two real high-scoring defensemen. Pacioretty broke his stick in two on the slap shot out high.
Well, Vegas not able to get much going on this man advantage. A big opportunity to win this late.
Cousins into the offensive end. Now Tuck. Cousins. Tuck trying to roll loose from Hull. Feeds it out top. Carlson denied on his drive. Power play's over, and really not much happening on it for the Golden Knights, as the All-Stars able to kill it off. Drive from Hull, and he missed the net. Brett Hull, during his great career, was great at just kind of lying in the weeds, find a little soft spot, and be open, and he was open that time. Battling Theodore for the puck. Now Yzerman looking to walk out in front, and he missed the net. The All-Stars turning on the heat late. Yzerman looking, feeds it in front, of it is tipped wide by Jean Beliveau. Now another drive out high from Hull. Save Fleury with 0.6 of a second left. He'll hold on to it.
Well, the All-Stars had about 4 grade A opportunities. They couldn't hit the net. All shots were going just wide. And then Fleury, save here is, looks like these two teams will go to overtime.
It was mind-boggling with all that talent how they couldn't score. What chances they had late. But regulation time is over and we're headed for OT. Only goal in the third period. Paul Stastny tying it up to set the stage for overtime. Well, for the second time, Shane, the Golden Knights find a way to pull even in this game. Paul Stastny, the tying goal in the third period as we head to overtime.
Well, pretty big statement to be able to time this all-time All-Stars team after 60 minutes of play. They'll need a little extra time here in overtime, and we'll see if the Golden Knights can pull off the victory.
We'll see how long this lasts. 3-on-3 overtime up next. A little bonus hockey for the sold-out crowd at T-Mobile tonight between the Golden Knights and the all-time All-Stars. 3-on-3 OT. Gretzky and Carlson on the draw. And Lidstrom along with Gretzky and Howe up front. And a penalty right off the bat. This time it's to the Golden Knights.
Well, this happened away from the puck as Mark Stone Right off the faceoff, gets the hook on Lindstrom. Not much there, but Stone visibly upset as he goes to the penalty box and a power play for the All-Stars in overtime.
This might not be good. A power play for the all-time All-Stars. Here's Gretzky. He'll feed it out high to Lindstrom. Shot, tip, score! Joe Sakic on the deflection. It took 19 seconds on the power play for the all-time All-Stars to win it.
You don't want to give this group of players any advantage, and you can see why. Gretzky, a great little move on the half wall. He finds Lindstrom, and it's going to be Sakic in front as he tips the Lindstrom blast past Fleury. And the all-time All-Stars with a power play goal in overtime will win this one 3-2. But for the Golden Knights, pretty good showing against a group of Hall of Famers on the other side.
Took the Golden Knights 49 seconds to fall short in the OT as the all-time All-Stars win it on the power play goal from Joe Sakic. Shane, when the Golden Knights are taking on a team like this, a team of legends, you get a bad feeling when you put them on a power play in overtime, and it didn't take long for the All-Stars to win it.
On an unfortunate call to Mark Stone, and it led to a tip-in by Joe Sakic for the overtime goal, and the all-time All-Stars win this one. But for the Golden Knights, this was a great game for them to play, a great learning experience, and we'll see if it helps them along the way as they get set for their next game.
And we'll see who is in store for the Golden Knights next. Join us next time for our EA Sports simulated games. Thanks for joining.